starting to go. Had to let go of the weight that I used to know. Faded in the rear view, I left it behind. Now I'm running with the light, yeah, I'm feeling fine. I used to drown in the noise, lost in the haze, chasing hollow highs, but it's a brand new day. But it pulled me out of the night. Now I'm walking in the glory, I'm walking in the light. Oh, I won't go back, no, I won't go back to the darkness that tried to hold me back. I'm living for the truth, never looking back. Jesus got me, and it's a solid
Okay, now I'm speaking. I just, like, everything I've said so far has not been broadcast. I started off with Western Monologue, who left a message in my chat while I was offline. I suppose I wasn't offline. I was streaming through Restream while walking at the point, probably. But now, yeah, he's reported. And I've just been jabbering on. Yeah, it's Sunday. I'm a Christian. I'm not going to work. I've got two budget PCs built, and I need to get them listed on eBay. So, I'm going to do that at some point. But for now, hide that camera. Just go with a little overlay camera. I'm going to play Doom Eternal, which I haven't played yet. Got it for free from Amazon Prime. That was one of the things that I've already said before, so I'm going to have to accept that I feel paranoid about what I've said, because I've said a whole bunch of stuff. I have had my freedom of expression. I went into town with my cowboy hat and a long leather coat, which is an awful lot like one of the Matrix coats. I did get it like a little bit before. So it had, like, there were a few ads around, but it was like kind of cagey. You know, the Matrix adverts were more of a build up some hype and tension. They didn't show off huge amounts. But it was like, I was in the goth alternative scene, and like, you know, if you're not happy with life and you're expressing that you've been through rough stuff and that you're not super happy with like the way that things are, I'm with you, right? You know, it's all like either do this or the other. There's all these popular kid groups, and like I don't really want to be aligned with them particularly, because they all require a submission to an ethos that's incompatible with Christianity, and being like, well, they all seem to be wrong and I'm not happy about it, is the expression of goth rock alternative, and like metal music and stuff expresses that vibe. I prefer Christian metal music, as I've been playing with this rock alternative that's actually Christian. Move on to a different tune. What we got? I did have long hair once upon a time, but then I went bald. Now I'm a skinhead. It makes me scary. Well, I mean, like, sure, I could have terrible hair and it wouldn't be scary, but you'd all be laughing at me, and it's like harder to maintain, and like then I'm gonna try and do something useful with it, and rather just shave it if that's all right with you. White supremacy. Oh, well, you know, I'm part Native American, so that wouldn't be a very. I have some minority roots. I don't hate my ancestors, and I'm not. You know, that's based on like the same sort of incorrect assumption of like, well, you're from California, so like you must be really like hate black people because you've met them, and I'm like, no, that's not how it works, right? They're just people, right? So you hang out with them, right? Then you get to know that they're just normal. They're like, I'm a Charlie, blah, 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 I don't know, whatever. It was like a bunch of like 12-year-old kids, street discussion in St. Giles. And like, besides, I don't think you could grow up racist in California. You'd get shot. And it's like, oh, that proves the point. That proves the point. I was like, no, it doesn't. It's not polite. And like, you know, I'm pretty sure it'd be a white guy. It's just like, I'm not gonna have this become a race issue. The white guy's just gonna go boom. The white gang member is gonna be like, look, don't you worry about getting yourself a bad name for killing this guy in angry response. This is just. They gotta go, right? Boom. If I was a gang member, I'd be the one killing the racist white guy for my black and Hispanic friends. That's it wouldn't it's not, it's a bad mindset to have, right? And over there, if you're slagging off gang members, you're the idiot, right? Doesn't matter what race they are. The gang's not being racist. I mean, I'm sure that there are racist gangs, but most gangs are probably going to take who they can get. Just like, apparently, the police are just a gang. That's a relatively common opinion over here. I don't think it's entirely inaccurate. Probably disinformation, though. Anyone who's like, we'll take anyone we can get, as long as they're willing to back us up. Because mob rule, right? Oh gosh, this keyboard. It's a good keyboard, except for the volume scroller, which is wibbly wobbly. I mean, theoretically, I could have traded it in, but honestly, they're pretty rare. Because it's got the 18 macro keys. So like, one, not many people want that. I use it for like Twitch. Whoops. Camera. Apparently, that is now muting stuff as well. Fair enough. I got my camera mode, my camera hotkeys, on and off, screen, other screens, second screen primary, first screen primary, all that jazz. I think I'm going to get myself a coffee though before I start up Doom Eternal. And then I theoretically, if I was Jewish, I could, I don't know, would it, I had a feeling that it would potentially be an issue from like their hypocritical things where they like challenge Jesus, like drove out a demon on the Sabbath or something, and they're like, you can't do that. That's a job. That's our job, and you can't work on a Sunday. No fighting evil today, lads. But I don't know if I play Doom Eternal. Is killing demons work on a Sunday? Because I'm trying to chill out and play a game, and I just downloaded this game the other day. Took a little while, 90 gigs. I haven't set it up. I have to configure it. I don't majorly need the loo, but minorly. Probably will at some point soon. May as well have a try while I boil the kettle. And you know what? So I was like, oh, I'm going to have some tea. But then I was like, I am out of Yorkshire. But I have got Marks and Spencer's gold fancy premium thing. But it's not as good as Yorkshire. But it's pretty close, but it's just not quite. Can always go for coffee. Could do filter coffee. Could do instant coffee. Because maybe I'm thinking too quickly today, and I wouldn't want to boost that into a sort of level. Well, I could be considered to be manic, because I am manic, and you're going to call me hypermanic, and then you're going to tell me that it's actually hypomanic, because it's spelled Hypo, and that makes me hypomanic, not hypermanic, because hypermanic is not the correct thing. You might say hyperman, or hypermanic, but you mean hypomanic, and I'm like, but you're the one who wants to inject me with shit. You're obsessed with injecting everyone with stuff, so like, why? Are you sure it's not you that's in fact Hypoman, Doc? You are Hypoman. I'm just going to hypo you. There's a hypodermic needle, because you can't force me to take medication, but you will inject me with a hypodermic needle, which is a sedative that is also, coincidentally, a medication that lasts for 6 months, and an option that I could take as a medication. So you will inject me forcefully against my will with medication, but you're going to lie about it a lot first, and lie about it a lot after. And I'm not going to appreciate it. And because I'm going to be disgruntled with you, you're going to say that that's proof that I am subject to anger and need to be locked up and drugged. And like, you know, and then we're like, well, we can't force you to, but we will do it anyway. We're like, we can't do it. We're not legally allowed to like inject you with medication against your will, but we will, and we are. So, and I'm like, well, this is your problem. You say one thing and then you mean the other. And they showed me their mental health guide book, which is like, this is our Bible, and it's like, and like, you know, you should appreciate that we've got input from crazy people in this book. We consulted with some freaking people that we consider to be mentally disabled, and they helped us write this freaking crazy book, because like on one page it's like, you've got to do this, and then on the other page, like, you know, 1.5 pages worth of text later, it's like, and you can't do what we just told you to do on the other page. And like, I went through like sort of skim reading, I don't know, a third of it, maybe half of it, between a third and a half of it, and I found like 5 examples of it telling you that you had to do something, and then telling you that you absolutely could not do what it had just told you to do. You have to do it, but you can't do it. But you have to do it, but you can't do it. So basically, like, the entire book is just like, you've got to do all this stuff, and you're also not allowed to do all this stuff that we're telling you you've got to do. So basically, you've got to do what we say, and if you do it, we can fire you for it. We can fire you for anything, right? If you don't do the stuff, we can fire you. If you do the stuff, well, it's also explicitly prohibited, even though it's required. So we can fire you for that too. So it's all just behind closed doors, and it's reliant on, like, you know, the opinion of whoever's there at the time, which is most of British law, which is like, you know, we just play it fast and loose, all right? It's got to be an individual judgment. But if the individual judgment seems to be correct and shouldn't be correct, like, in order to enforce the people who are in charge, if they need to stay in charge, and what you do somehow contradicts some, like, questionable decision in the past, then we're going to go to precedent. And like in the previous past, we have done some things in situations related to this, and we're going to say that we have to stick with that today, and we don't actually have to, because, like, yeah, so, like, you know, I'm not a big fan of precedent. It's like, well, you've been accused of this crime, and it's like, well, I didn't do it, and it was self-defense. It definitely wasn't a crime. There was no intent to harm. You know, I haven't actually been accused of a crime. So I have committed a couple of crimes. I shoplifted like twice, I think. Like, my friends were all doing it, and like, in order, like, had to, and I felt bad about it. But at least, like, you know, it's kind of weird. One of my friends, one who encouraged me. Like, I think I'm forgiven. I haven't done it since. It's been a long time. You know, I was like 15 to 17. I think only 15 to 16. I don't think I ever did it, and it was only twice. But you know, it was miniatures as well, and I Citadel miniatures. But there was one place, there was a shop called Ruddock's, and like the guy who got me to do it, he used to go in there every day after school, and he'd just empty their box of magic cards into his bag and walk out. And he even, one day, he didn't have his school bag with him. He asked them if he could have a carrier bag, and then he went and emptied their shelf into his bag and walked out. And then he got a job as their security guard. He was their head of security. And that's like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's like, is that just the cheekiest thing you've ever heard, or is it, in fact, he's probably going to be quite good at it because he knows it's rubbish and they could use someone in that regard? Anyway, I'm going to use the loo and make a hot drink. I'll find out what it is. Probably a coffee. Need to get some more Yorkshire. But I should also use the Marks and Spencers that I got given, so. Robbledy-dobbledy.
Just a few loaves of bread. clearing the temple ground. A message of peace where grace is found. He spoke in parables, lessons to learn. In the hearts of the faithful, the Spirit burns. He faced the cross, took the ultimate price. Sacrifice for our sins, such a high device. Rose on the third day, the storm rolled away. Resurrection power, the truth displayed. From the Gospels, tales unfold. Stories of love and grace unfold. From the miracles to the parables told. Jesus' journey, a story of gold. From his birth to the cross to the empty tomb. He conquered death and dispelled the gloom. He gave us salvation, a chance to be free. Through his grace, we find our destiny. The good shepherd leads us the way, the truth, the life. In every trial, through joy and strife. He's the light of the world, our guiding star. No matter where we're headed, he's never far. From the Last Supper to the garden's plea, his love, his sacrifice set us free. From Galilee to Jerusalem's gates, his story transcends all time and face. He's the King of Kings, the Savior supreme. In every gospel, his light will beam. Jesus Christ, forever reign. In his name, we break every chain. From the Gospels, tales unfold. Stories of love and grace unfold. From the miracles to the parables told. Jesus' journey, a story of gold. Of gold.
Okay. Wasn't going to say anything. I'm now on Droid Cam audio, so I can take this with me, wander around my house a little. Wireless phone, innit? It was my son's, I gave him my old one. Luna tickles. It's just Luna, because she's a bit nuts sometimes. Like, her kids, her baby kitties will come over to her, and she'd like bat them on the head and then start licking them. Like, you're nuts, but you know, she was raised by my ex-wife, so what do we expect, eh? Lovely Luna, Mummy Luna, clever. And we got Kiwi, who's all black. Don't know where he is at the moment. And Tiddles. Hello, Tiddles. One of the most skittish. She loves a cuddle, but she doesn't want to be picked up. But she wants to be in your lap and cuddle, but she won't come to your lap. So she'll just like hover around the edges, meowing, wandering, getting little bits of strokes. And she'll keep whining until you eventually manage to snag her and then give her like a proper cuddle. And she'll purr so hard, and then she'll bugger off and like lay down and be happy again. But she's actually Tiddlington Fuzzleworth. I was considering Tiddlington Fuzzle Scruff, but I was like, no, that's kind of rude. You don't like it, do you? Well, then here comes the Luna. And they look very similar. Show your face, Luna. And then you, Tiddles. Okay. Her nose has got more black and she's got black chin. Whereas Luna just has like a black beauty spot by her nose. And Luna's super lap cat. And my kettle's boiled. Sorry, Loonsy. Luna's the best at getting off your lap though. Oh, I don't need to take you with me to make the kettle. I mean, I'm not going to make the kettle, I'm going to make the tea with the water in the kettle, to be technically precise.
is turning black. I'm trapped in the chaos, no way to turn back. The water's so cold and my heart's full of fear. I thought I was drowning, but then I heard you near. You called me by name, you told me to rise. With eyes fixed on you, I'd walk through the lies. I took that first step, the ground underneath. But all I could see was the storm and its teeth. The fear held me captive, I wanted to scream. But your hand was enough to shatter the dream. I'm walking through the waves, though the storm tries to pull me down. In the chaos I won't stagger, I'll trust and stand my ground. The darkness may surround me, the winds may roar and shout, but I'll keep my faith in you and let your love remove my doubt. The winds are howling, waves crash high, but I'm stepping out with you by my side. The world around me is wild and torn, yet in your power I know that I'm reborn. Each step I take, the waters part. With every wave I feel your heart. In the storm I will not fear, for you're the one who's always near. I took that second chance, you lifted me high. You calmed the storm and gave me the sky. My faith wasn't perfect, my fear's still there, but with you beside me, I know you care. I'm walking through the waves, though the storm tries to pull me down. In the chaos I won't stagger, I'll trust and stand my ground. The darkness may surround me, the winds may roar and shout, but I'll keep my faith in you and let your love remove my doubts. Now I see the truth in the middle of the fight. You're the one who makes the darkness light. I'll keep moving forward, no matter the cost. For I know with you, I'll never be lost. I'm walking through the waves, though the storm tries to pull me down. In the chaos I won't stagger, I'll trust and stand my ground. The darkness may surround me, the winds may roar and shout, but I'll keep my faith in you and let your love remove my doubt.
Oh, took a little bit longer, and it's not even tea. You know, I messed up. I got there and I'd already auto put coffee in when I started boiling the kettle. And I was like, no, I'm gonna have tea when I come back through here. It's like, no, my subconscious just did it, you know. I trained myself on making drinks, and unfortunately I got to the coffee, well, I got to the kettle and the thermal mug, and it was like, no, you already did this. you already put sweetener and coffee in there, buddy. Like, you either gotta like just waste that and throw it out. I'll have tea next time. If I don't auto complete, you know, like Adam Sandler's click, just autopilot. But hey, it's less stressful to go on autopilot, isn't it? Oh yes, of course. But it becomes 6 eyes. It's 4 eyes if you got one pair of glasses. If you got some steampunk goggles on your hat, and some Blu-ray glasses on your face, and actual eyes. And am I 6 eyes? I guess. Okay.
Trust in the Lord, never let go. He'll guide your way through rain and snow. Trust in the Lord and love flow free. With him there's no more misery.
And I'm talking to no one again because I forgot to unmute my mic. I'll get better. I'll get better at it. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, and I think I need to pause my music now, don't I? Because Doom has its own sound. The sound of Doom. Okay. I honestly don't know if I already have a Bethesda account. I thought we were signed in and it was like, welcome first man down, and like, okay, so you made me sign in and then you signed into my Microsoft or Xbox account on top of my Microsoft account, and I've got to sign into my Bethesda account. I don't know if I have one. And all it's done is what? What's this? Blank box, unlabeled. I clicked in username and this popped up. What am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. Just putting what, first man down? Is that okay? No, it won't be that. Oh, and I've clicked on it again and it's gone back to the desktop. It's taken me out of the program, taken me to the desktop and highlighted the program, and now the mouse isn't working, and now it is. Okay, no, it's not going to be that. As I said, I don't think I actually have a Bethesda account, but I don't actually know. Right, go to another screen. So you can't see how many characters I even type in for my password. That's invalid. Let's try creating an account. Okay, so let's change the username. Alright, it says that username is unavailable, so I think it's mine. So if I cancel creating an account and try again, but I don't know, because it seems to have been, it seems like, I don't know if the Bethesda and Microsoft accounts are linked or what. Not that password. Or if it's not that password, then all the other passwords are more recent, so it's not me then. Okay, so I will cancel it again. I guess someone, and now, just deleting my password and deleting my username, and it's just constantly putting them back in as soon as I exit the box. It's like, no, you can't blank them. Okay, so if I do create account, will you blank them for me? Yes, you will. Fine. Let's try Excalibrate. Oh, no. What? Oh, I typed in Excalibrate, and what? Now it's just putting first man down into the box constantly. So if I share that screen again, since it's now not even one I'm going to be using, let's just change it. I want the name Fred. Yeah, sorry, first man down's not available. Okay, yeah, but my email address isn't supposed to be that either. So if I did that as the one that's already been on screen, and did nickhurd@hotmail.com, and then tab out, no, first man down, sorry, that's an invalid email. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not what I put in either of those boxes. You took the name first man down, which you pulled somewhere for the dark recesses of my Microsoft account, and then you threw that in there, and I was like, okay, well, I'll give that a try, and it's incorrect password. It's well, then it's not me. Why did you put the name from my past in there and say that it's already registered and I can't use it because the passwords that I have on my Microsoft account, the passwords that I used at the time are not what it is, and now you can't enter it as your username because type in whatever username you like. Look, can I just be Nick? Yeah, let's give that a try. No, you can't be first man down. Well, I mean, I don't want to be first man down. I'm trying to change my freaking name and you won't let me. So I guess I've got to cancel out and quit the game, which is kind of annoying. Welcome to your frustration. Oh no, I'm in hell. Freaking paperwork. Yeah, see, this is where it got my first... Maybe is this where it got my first Van Down thing from? Because, like, it's still got this gaming UI thing up, and I don't know what it represents, because it doesn't have anything other than gaming UI, empty box, okay, cancel. So if I okay First Man Down, it gives me First Man Down, and if I click in and out of it, it just disappears, and it comes back, and what are you doing? Freaking useless program. Maybe it was written by AI. I'm like, well, I mean, I can't cancel it. Cancel's not an option. Okay does freaking nothing, so I don't know. I'll just close it. That was not a very successful first run of the game. I'm not terribly impressed with your coding quality standards, guys, but, you know, whatever. I'm crazy. Freaking, this is the best that can be done, or whatever. If you say so, fucking shut up and stop persecuting me. Let's try again, eh? Let's run Doom Eternal and see if a fresh start will be any better than... Well, we put this name in for you, but you can't use it and you can't access it. There's no password. And now I can't even freaking click on starting the game. I mean... Computer seems to be responsive, kind of, maybe. Nope, it's definitely having a serious ghost though, and I don't know why. 24% CPU on being used by OBS, which is relatively normal. Do a Control-Shift-Escape, pop up Task Manager. Something was showing at 100% there, but it immediately disappeared it, and now the most it's using is OBS Studio at 28. But something, I can't get to the Performance tab, so I don't know what the heck is going on. Apparently, it's just VCam and OBS, and they're using like 30%. So... But I can't even click on Task Manager. It's just completely unresponsive. But it could be because it's Windows 10. I don't know. Microsoft do like to just... I mean, they'll never admit it, but... They want you to... yeah, this is just completely unresponsive. Kind of looks like the stream's still going okay. OBS seems to be responsive, but the rest of the computer... Drag Task Manager over there. No, that's a left click. That's a no. Nope, your computer is just going to be unresponsive. I mean, sometimes it seems like it'll recover. It says it's all OBS greeting up like... I mean, I can't go to the Performance tab. Task Manager is like not even... oh, there it is. It's in the list. It's only using 0.2%, but somehow the system... The UI for Windows is just... I can get to the Start menu. That's nice. No, Chrome's completely unresponsive. Task Manager's completely unresponsive. There used to be stuff you could do about this. I mean, like, if OBS was taking up 100%, but this just appears to be Windows just decided it doesn't like me or something. Well, if you don't want the way that we work... Well, I mean, I don't want the way that you fail to work blatantly. If you tried turning it off and on again, well, I'll have to restart the stream, and that's like hassle. But I did kind of cock it up at the beginning. Maybe I should just go again, right? Just like restart and hope that it doesn't do this next time, because like it doesn't normally. I've seen this once or twice before, but never on this PC, but then I don't use this PC terribly often. It's only been happening since they announced the end of life for Windows 10. It's like, well, you know, it's getting a bit long in the tooth. You get an update, and it stops functioning correctly. It's like, Now I know that I never did this as a software programmer, but then again, I got fired, so... but it's like, I know you're not allowed to put in anything that, like, removes the functionality under threat of payment for an upgrade, but... And I know that as a programmer, I've never put that into any of our software, but I know that I got fired. I'm not saying it happens, because, like, obviously, like, companies wouldn't break the law, and people wouldn't break the law for their company, as proven by the fact that I didn't do it, and it didn't happen, because, I mean, I don't know where I got fired, so... But that was for, I mean, it didn't. It was a settlement agreement, so I didn't get fired. They didn't want to let me go, but I suppose they had to, because I just needed to be free or something. Oh, I mean, I wasn't writing enough code, but like I wasn't allowed to pick my own code, and I could only work on the jobs that were assigned to me, and all the jobs that were assigned to me, like, didn't actually have a problem. I can't fix a problem that we can't reproduce. Like, you're saying it does this, and it doesn't. And I've even got the data for it, and like we actually, like, I think it's a duplicate, because there's another program, there's another job report here that says the same thing for a different customer, and then it was fixed, and like it definitely did the problem before. I can see the code from their change, and like yeah, it was faulty, and that's what like that would give the same result that this is reporting the result, but it's been fixed. And they haven't been updated. No, they have been updated. Well, you say they've been updated, and in fact, like you haven't technically blocked me from dialing into customers anymore. So I did dial in, and I checked, and you're right, they have been updated. They do have the updated executable that would fix the problem in their update folder, but it does still have the date that it was uploaded on into it, and therefore, like we never got to we updated them, but we didn't stop them from running the old program and put the new one in place. Normally we do all the uploads and everything and get everything ready, and it's like, right, now you've got to get everyone out of the system for a couple of seconds, or a couple of minutes, like get everyone out and then let us know, and then we'll change the names on the executables, and then they can go back in, and when they go back in, they'll be running the new version. But we never did that bit. We just sent them the new version, but they're not running it, so I think that's the problem. What are you doing looking into customer data? You're not supposed to do that. That's support's job. You're not allowed to do support's job, because when you do support, they stop wanting to talk to support. And stop it, because you're making people look bad. And I'm like, stop being good at stuff because other people aren't. And that's not fair on them. I mean, I want them to be good at it too. I'm happy to help them to learn, but what's the problem? You're not the boss. Oh, you're probably right. That probably is the problem, but I don't want to be, and you don't want me to be. So, just not gonna do the right thing or do a good job at stuff, and blame me for making people look bad for not doing their job. But then, I mean, I agree. I should go. I'm not gonna you can get rid of me, I'll leave, but I've been here for 9 years, so if you want me to go, just pay me the redundancy money? No. Okay, settlement agreement. A little bit more than the redundancy money, and I don't get to talk about it. I don't think that's... Have I just talked about it? I mean, I'd like to get a job, and I want people to know why it's awkward to talk about. And I know one of the things in the settlement agreement was that I'm allowed to talk a bit for employment purposes, and I could use some cash. So, anyway, I still can't click on Chrome or Task Manager. Apparently it's just streaming. I can't move OBS. Windows has been completely unresponsive for quite a while now, so I can't click the buttons on OBS. I can't click End Task or on anything in Task Manager, so... Because Task Manager used to interrupt stuff, and let's try Control-Alt-Delete then, right? If I do that and then fire up Task Manager, hey, now I can move Task Manager. Hey, that's interesting. Now I can click on stuff in Task Manager. That's interesting. And then I can click on stuff here. Okay, so apparently I just needed to hit Control-Alt-Delete and just slap Windows in the face a little bit. Hey, wake up! Stop being nothing. Okay. Blah. I mean, that was, just rambled on while I waited to find out if I would be allowed to click on stuff. Okay, now apparently CPU is actually at 50%. So processes is mostly OBS and VCAM. So, this is an old computer. There's a good chance that I should run my mini PC to stream from, and I can technically give that a go now. I got an HDMI splitter, and splitting that to the HD capture card and then also to the TV does seem to work. So I can have my screen and record my screen on a different PC and do the sending and the transmission and the video processing with that, but I will only have one screen from my gaming PC. But it will be kind of better, and it won't interrupt my the actual performance from my game, which if you're eking out an old grandpa PC because you're an old grandpa yourself, and it's hey, I'm just starting where I left off. You locked me up for 6 years mostly. I mean, off and on, obviously. But for the first 3 years, it was definitely more time in mental health institutions than out. So yeah, I guess I will boot up the other computer. And give that a go. Oh! I'm going to need a mouse for it. As much as I've got my wireless keyboard and mouse plugged into it, for some reason when I changed the batteries on the wireless mouse, it just stopped working. That's just weird. Like, I can put the old batteries in and then hold it like right next to the receiver and it works. And then I put fresh batteries in and then like click it and it's just like the red light flashes and it does nothing and then it just like turns itself off. It's like, well, that's awkward. How does changing the like? I don't know what's engineered into this $9.99 Wi-Fi keyboard and mouse that it'll function on nearly dead batteries, and then when you replace them with new batteries, it's like, nope. Tech has issues. Got to buy new stuff. I mean, yeah, kind of. If that's going to be the industry that we're in, then if we want to have like a sustainable economy off of it, then you're going to need to upgrade at some point. But it'd be nice if I could like sell it on to someone else when I want to get a nicer thing. I'm going to do that anyway, but I don't want it to just have like time limits built into it. It's like engineered to fail and all that. I don't necessarily know if that's what's going on with this mouse. I don't think it is, but there's no real reason for it not to work with fresh batteries, but to work with nearly dead ones, and they're both alkaline. Take the thing apart, but you know, I'm not into the electronic side of it, so basically I need to use a different one. And I think I've got one in the other room. It's with my laptop. I had everything set up and work. I mean, like, I don't know, actually. I'll give it another go. I will change over, just changing the source on my TV to the other computer first. I'm just going to shut that computer down for now. It's really awkward with just the keyboard. I mean, not really awkward, it's just like tab. That computer's having issues. That's interesting. No, it's like, okay. Had an exception at breakpoint. It's like, am I debugging? Like boot up to login screen. Say shut down and it's like, exception at breakpoint. That's not a great sign. But Windows 11, like, you know, I've got a version that I can install on unsupported hardware, which like all of my hardware is. Supported by me, but that's awkward because they keep making it not work. Happens with Linux too. Like, do your updates and it breaks something. Just wait a year for them to fix it. Right, okay, let's try again. The PC should be capable. I have definitely streamed from it before. I'm not super happy about 30% of the CPU being taken up. And I think it's almost certainly not ideal. Right, well, yes, we can get to this bit, but I don't want you to break the entire operating system when I try and log in or create an account again. Gave me a game. I'm logged into my Google account. I'm logged into my Microsoft account. I don't think I have a Bethesda account, but apparently I need one of those too. You've got my usernames. You've got both my usernames, and my passwords don't work on them, so apparently they're not mine. Well, I don't know if you've got both my usernames, actually. Signing in and it's not signed in. Oh, and then it's brought up this gaming UI. What the freak do you want in this box, guys? Honestly, what do you want here? I know that I just... Okay, so you just blank... No. Fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. What do you want? Is this my username you're after? Is it? I don't know. Yes, apparently so. And now you want me to put my password in over here as well. Right. Okay. I'm going to change my screen. Invalid one or the other. Oh, and now, good thing I'm on a different screen, because now you're just going to crank out my password straight on screen. You know, I filled it in the first time, and you were all stars. And then you're like, no, that's not it. And so you just throw it out there. I mean, it might not be this password, but it's one of my passwords, and I'd rather you didn't just throw it on screen in an unprotected edit box. Let's try this password. No, that's invalid too. Well, I think I'd better go to Bethesda website, because that's not giving me an email option, but you're saying my username exists. Maybe. And now it's doing it again. Click on username and it tabs out of the entire game, because you couldn't possibly enter the box in the freaking game, could you? You're going to have to pop out this anonymous black screen that has no description on it. Now you want my email address, and can I create that account, please? Creating Bethesda account. Account was created. Check your email for verification. Awesome sauceum. Now it's connecting to Bethesda.net. I've got my verification email, I believe. Wow. We're finally off of showing all my details on screen. So adjust the slider until the logo is barely visible. I can't see the logo at all. What logo? We're at max here. I don't see a logo. Oh, I can see it on my screen capture. Can't see it on my screen in the slightest. I can only see it on OBS. That's going to be awkward, maybe. Maybe. Sure. I'm fine with not being able to see the logo at all. That's great. Weapon Bob, and I mean, you're just welcome to the configuration menu. I'll have a little bit of motion blur. I don't think it's terrible. I'm not colorblind. Not as far as I'm aware. Incoming text-to-speech and outgoing text-to-speech. And then speech-to-text. I might just go with defaults for now, yeah, because I don't know. What? So I confirmed, and then you're like, how about you pick the name? I thought if I wanted to pick the name for the speech profile, I thought the best thing to do would be to click on there, right? But I didn't. I clicked enter select. I don't want to enter select. Escape continue? Okay. Yeah, that's the standard configuration, isn't it? Press escape to continue. It's always the way it goes. I should have known. No one's ever used confirm before. Why would you want to confirm? Surely enter/confirm. That's not you're done with this page. That's pick an option on the page, which I could have done by clicking on it. But no. I should check through all the options and then press escape, which is normally abandon changes. Traditionally, I don't want to follow tradition. We're evolved now. I mean, you're a little confusing, and I think that's kind of half the point. If we're constantly keeping up with you changing the way that we're supposed to do things, and how we're supposed to do anything for ourselves. Let me write some software. But the new way is to do it this way and that way and this way and the other way and all at once. And by the way, you've got to keep up with our APIs. Okay, yeah, so I'm just supposed to recode whatever Google want me to do, plus what Microsoft want me to do, plus what all the other companies want me to do, because you want me to integrate with all of them, because someone's integrating with one of them, and I'm supposed to keep up with all of them at once, so I should have the ability to log in with Amazon and Facebook and Microsoft and Google. And once I've got all of those possible options, I should also obviously have my own login option. And that one's going to be pretty simple because I don't need to freaking change it every week. But one of the others is going to change it every week, so I've got to do some more code to integrate with everybody's latest changes. So really, you kind of want me as an individual solo developer to just keep up with everything that everyone at Google's doing that has any impact on their public-facing interfaces. Because it's very rare. Maybe it is, but in my experience, it freaking isn't. They do it all the time. It's like you basically need a developer to just keep up with your API changes so that you can integrate with Microsoft, and maybe another one to integrate with Google. Maybe each of them can do, like, one can do Microsoft, and one can do Amazon, and one can do Google and Facebook, and then another one can do, like, all the rest or something, and Epic and freaking GOG. We're all going to make changes every now and again, and you're going to have to do, like, some code to make your software compatible with everything that we're doing, and, like, you know, it's going to require you to, like, charge an update. You're going to have to go onto a subscription model as well as charging to sell it in the first place, because you're going to need a whole coding team just to keep up with all your mandatory changes to integrate with other people's coding requirements. That seems to be the way it's gone. It's like, you know, it's like not it's a pay tent. You know, you walk into the tent and just got to pay to walk into the tent, and everything in the tent you got to pay for, and I don't like pay tents. It's like, this is the money generation area. Give us your money. Give us your time then. Blarg. I mean, no, I must read this 666 new modes introduced thing. You had to keep that on screen for like 10 seconds before you'd let me click shut. Oh, it's like mandatory freaking in-game advertising. Fucking welcome to hell. Yeah. Well, at least they're honest. You know, it's a game about hell, and it's just fucking hell in your face, straight from the beginning. Like, log into an empty box with a, is this my username that you want? I don't know, you've not put any text on the box. Is it my password you want here? I'm pretty sure it is. Or was it the wrong password? Why don't you just throw it up on screen then? Is this your password? Well, it's incorrect. Well, I mean, for this account, but I'd rather you didn't put it on screen. Good thing I showed a different screen, eh? You know, it's like, type it in, it's all stars, and then it's like, and here it is, boom, in your face. No, don't put my freaking password on screen. Like, everybody knows, don't do this. But thank you, Microsoft. Thank you, Bethesda, for being a bunch of cunts. Yeah, I'm disgruntled with them, like, not following their own policies, but that they won't let me integrate with them if I don't. So that just means I need to, like, to start off with, I need to spend, like, a year coding APIs, but before I can, like, be allowed to write a program. But I'm quite good at writing programs, but I did used to do them with non-Microsoft software, so obviously that keeps not working, because every 3 months, like, Delphi, like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do, we can do it patch. So, like, they changed it when they changed, like, they did a Windows update, and now anytime you do a modal window from a Borland compiled program or a non-Microsoft, they just change the way that they do the signals, so the previous correct way to do it will now not work correctly. So anybody who's writing with a non-Microsoft compiler, it's just nope. Just like, nope, we changed the way we do it, so unless you're using Visual Studio, it's not going to function right, and like, they're going to have to get their compiler developer to, like, change the way they do it, and they apparently, like, weren't allowed, so there had to be, like, an extra Windows DLL hook that the individual developers had to install, because just like Microsoft terms and conditions prevent us from writing Microsoft software that works correctly on Microsoft software, even though that was previously what we were allowed to do, and like none of us really appreciate it. Now you got to do it with .NET, because .NET is like the evolution of Visual C++. I mean Visual Basic 6 or whatever, that was like, this is shit. Makes a tiny program, sure, but then everything else is just like dynamic link libraries, and it's like incredibly slow and takes gigabytes of memory completely unnecessarily. If you actually write a program with a Borland compiler, that program will be like 32 megs or something, with the runtime information still in it, or 5 megabytes without. But that's the entire program, that's everything, and like Microsoft's like, oh, ours is better because, like, you know, that's only 500k. Well, all of your programs are only 500k. You write everything into the same horribly discredited Visual Basic 6 DLL nightmare haven that's just like, well, we've already pre-installed 20 gigabytes of stuff on your PC as part of the .NET framework, and therefore everything runs as that. So, like, yeah, we just need a 400 kilobyte executable, because, like, that's just telling you to link to the DLL that contains the rest of the program code. I mean, sure, it's massively slower and incredibly shit, and the same program that you were running that takes, like, 30 megabytes of memory now takes over a gigabyte of fucking RAM, and I don't like it. But what do I know? I'm just a coder. I don't work for goddamn Evil Corp. Anyway, let's play... play Doom as a game, because apparently I've got some anger that I would like to express. It would like me to buy some add-ons, but I'd kind of like to play the game first. Let's do a tutorial, in fact. I mean, this is kind of looking okay, but we're not actually running yet. Let me have a quick look at the codex first. So we've got glory kills. I've heard about them. Okay, so it's do damage until they get staggered, and then E or mouse 4. So 1, 2, 3. So that should be, I think, the back key. Might be the forward key. One of those. I do have an additional 2 keys, which I believe are bound to numeric keypad 0 and numeric keypad decimal. But the only game that I really use them in is Elite at the moment. And anyway, Blood Punch. What's that? Melee attack. Extra damage. Glory killing fills Blood Punch meter. Slayer can hold up to 2 Blood Punch charges. Once charged, press the same thing as the Glory kill to unleash it. Okay, so like, just like use my E or my mouse 4, I'll find out. If I've got charges and they're not staggered, then it should Blood Punch them. If they are staggered, it should Glory kill them, which will give me charges. Okay? Flame Belch. R. Well, that's not reload then. Set them on fire. Drop armor shards. Kill them. Yeah, so this is just like incorporating your health and armor regen into your activities, so we don't have to have Quake 3 Arena style glowy power-ups just sitting around the map, but we will throw them out of enemies. But that's good, like, you know, more. I don't want this to be like realistic horror and gore. I'd rather have some bright neon colors in there. I mean, there's definitely some horror and gore in the chainsawing the zombie dude in half. Okay, so C to instantly chainsaw, and that refills ammo. Handy, gotta try and work those in. And then, oh, I mean, like, okay, yeah, you've got a lot of stuff. Let's do the playable tutorial. That'll hopefully give me some intro. Coffee, coffee. Vape, vape. Slayer tutorial time. Yeah, I figured this looked like the sort of stuff that's going to pop up on screen anyway. Okay, so I can look around, up, down, left, right. That seems not a super quick mouse speed, to be honest. It does seem to. I think that's mostly. I think that's all right though, because that's kind of favoring accuracy. Oh, I do actually. This mouse is a gaming mouse, so I can't. Okay, so that appears to be the fastest movement. Maybe that is. I'm not sure any. Okay, so hold. Maybe that is just the. What's the? I'm sure that this. Does this mouse not actually? I thought that like tapping it potentially changes the mode. That seems okay, and then I can go super fine. I could potentially. No, let's go for a bit more sensitivity. I'd like it to turn a little faster than that, especially if I've got an option for sniper mode where I can hold down that button to make it give fine-grained control. It's what, Logitech G402 Hero? Yeah, something like that. It's not a Hero. It's a G402, but it has like some stupid name. Controls, mouse sensitivity. Let's make it. I believe I generally used to go for around 60. Apparently, I can't quite get dead on 60. Okay. That's a bit better. Am I getting tearing there? I think that's just the motion blur, actually. Hey! What? Calm down. I'm gonna go give Kiwi some comfort, because like he didn't do anything to deserve his sister just batting him on the head. He just wanted to come up and sit next to her. And you can often do that, but the girls are just like randomly, they're just like, no, die! And he's like, what did I do? Well, we tried to come close. Hello, Kiwi. Okay. It's not your fault. Where are you going, buddy? So I give my Kiwi boy a bit of cuddles, because like, he didn't do anything wrong there. And I'm going to pop him on the other. I've got like soft blankets that they like sitting on, but one of them was put away for a while. So if his sister doesn't want him sitting next to him, I'll put him on the other blanket, which you might not have really. I've not seen him sitting on it yet, so I don't know if he knows that it's there as a. There's a comfy option for all three of them. None of them have to share a blanket unless they're feeling friendly. Well, you know, gave him some encouragement, showed him where it was, gave him a little stroke on it. But he's still going to just go off and do his own thing for a bit, which is cool. Okay, so we've got the Doom elevator. Kill some demons, do. Apparently, I don't know. It's just a nice, like. Oh. There can attach to pitted walls by pressing E or 4. Okay, well I might fail this here because I don't know which of my forward or back buttons is 4 at the moment. I've been doing enough gaming recently. Well, I seem to have attached to it from that button. Okay, but I don't know why it let me go the first time. This could be interesting. I've got a little bit of a smirk going from like, this is a satisfying movement. Oh, apparently we can double shift. Like, that just happened like automatically as well. Q or 5 to quickly swap to your previous. Actually, I think E and Q are going to be like more useful than the thumb buttons on the mouse, probably. Okay, so some enemies are just like, I don't know, I don't entirely get how I'm supposed to know that my weapons are ineffective against them. And we're going to assume that it's just part of the tutorial, and that although there will be weaknesses, they won't be completely immune, but take damage, so like, I'm going to guess that this wants me to just, like, hold the weapon wheel to pick that third weapon. Wait. I think I pressed G before it was ready there. So as I was coming back in, I pressed G, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you haven't actually got keyboard control yet. Sure, you're like on screen we've taken the menu away, but wait a second. Oh, sorry, Puta. Sorry. Didn't mean to be too quick for you. I mean, that's the thing. In actual fact, humans are far quicker than computers. And we do technically qualify as quantum computers as well, you know. Can hold true or false and anything else. And we can hold 7 concepts in our mind at once. Picture 7 things. I mean, I don't generally go that far. It's quite difficult. It's about all you can hold. I'd rather go up to like 4 or 5 and then encapsulate it in a box and throw it into the background and rely on my subconscious to bring it back. And, you know, maybe it'll take a couple of thoughts or something, but, you know, trying to fill someone's brain up so they can't think and then, like, talking to them about that being a human limitation that they're stuck with, then, like, you know, I'm not a fan of accepting limitations from lecturers who are telling you about how incompetent I am. And, I mean, you know, they're not. They're trying to teach you how to use mind tricks to your advantage to get one over on other people who just think sensibly. And like, I don't generally appreciate it. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, thanks for telling me all your dirty secrets. Now I know what to avoid when I see other people doing it. Right? You aren't aware of that? Well, I have been to the lectures that tell you about how to do it to other people. I just don't. Well, thanks for the warning. No, this isn't a warning. This is a lesson on what to do. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna. It's totally against God's will. Why don't you just use evil witchcraft to control people's minds? Because that's really not recommended. No, but it'll get you advantages. It'll ruin society. No, it won't. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing good. You're doing good for yourself. You're being greedy. You're hurting other people. You're taking advantage of people to get more money than you need and more money than you're paying for. Like, you know, no, it's not good. Those are the demons I want to fight, but it's a Sunday, so I'm just going to play a game. I kind of should have listened to this stuff. It's okay, it flashed on screen. Press E to glory kill. Oh, that's what it wants me to do. Press the button. Do what you're told. Kill the dead human. Zombie. How do you kill the dead human? Well, I mean, you can't. They're already dead. Right. Well, so if they're not being sentient, they're only a book, right? Wait, what was... Okay. Press R to set enemies on fire. Well, you know, this is going to take some getting used to. But it's a belch. It's flame belch. I'm going to have to try and remember to say pardon me when I do it. Okay, so it's a little fussy. If you're too close to the enemy, then C is like no target. It's like, what? So C is just the hard-coded button for chainsaw. And I'm like, zombie, right in my face. C, and it's like, no target. Back off a bit. Zombie, pretty much in my face, but cursor not technically over them. C, it's like, no target. It's like, I'm sure if I was stood, like, if this microphone was the zombie, my eyes weren't directly focused on it. But I'm pretty sure if I sliced the chainsaw, I'd still hit it, right? But it's like, no. Put it into your gun's crosshairs, and then we will know that swiping the chainsaw can be done as a valid action. Well, I'd rather I could just be like, chainsaw, and it would just go, ugh, and if anything was there, it would hurt it. But no, I've got to like point my gun at it, target it in the face, say, hey, I'm locked on, computer. Now can I swing my chainsaw? And this is the problem that I have with AI, because I keep trying to talk to them. Like, you know, it can remember your previous conversations, but it doesn't. I just like, hey, correction, you misheard what I said. I said this, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And then it's like, can you go back to what you were saying before, but based on what I like corrected your mishearing of? No, I'm not capable of that. Then you can't actually have hold a continuous conversation like you claim. No, I'm sorry about that. I mean, can you speed up your speed of talking? Because like, if I ask you a question and then you're going to ramble on, like, I'd like the information. I love it being read out to me, but you're talking a bit slow. I'm going to want this information a bit quicker. Like, if I read it ahead of time, then I'm like, you know, reading, and I've like finished the first couple of paragraphs, and I'm on to like more fluff, and it's like still finishing its first sentence. And it's just kind of like annoying, and like just like giving me more stuff to research. It's like I'm trying to do research, and you're just giving me more stuff to research and like waffling on, useless drivel. But I mean, it's just apparently an echo chamber. It's parroting as much of society as it possibly can at once, and therefore it's kind of like useless drivel. Maybe it'll be handy for like writing me a program to do this in PHP or something, and maybe it'll help. I'll give it a try with that. I don't know if I should try with like Google Gemini or what. But I haven't tried having a chat with Chat GPT, but I think Google Gemini is Chat GPT as well, isn't it? Isn't it based on it? So isn't it just going to give me like, aren't they all, apart from the new like DeepSeek and like this new XAI that's coming out, aren't they all just copies of Chat GPT with like different brandings on them? So isn't talking to Gemini the same as talking to one of the others, but with a different corporate agenda behind the scenes? And so far it's all just like, well, I think you're just going to slow me down. I'm like, sorry about that. Well, I'm not going to use you then. Like, seriously, if you're just going to slow me down, why should I use you? I'll give it a try. Like, write me a program to do this, and then see if it's like quicker to correct all the fuck-ups that it inevitably makes than it is to write the program myself in the first place. If it like writes it and I'm like, well, this is a terrible programming structure. I mean, it's the most commonly used programming structure, but it's really very inefficient and terribly memory intensive, and you're not clearing any of the memory things. It's like, well, it'll do garbage collection. I mean, like, yeah, eventually when I start making my system shudder because I haven't been garbage collecting and I've filled 32 gigabytes of RAM, then I'll be like, I think I better throw some of this old junk that I'm not using out. But like, if I can write and free the crap I'm not using anymore and it'll just do it straight away, then that'd be great. I'm pretty sure it's just going to put it in the garbage collection view, like, list, and be like, I'll get rid of that when I feel like it, now that you've told me it's free. But like, it won't even get garbage collected if you don't free it. So memory management is still important, even with garbage collection, because if you're like not freeing your objects and you're leaving it connected and it's still got a connected part of the object to another object to another object, then it's not going to get garbage collected because it's connected to something that's used. So like, you still should do memory management, but you don't. It's just like, well, it helps the industry. We're going to have to, eventually users are going to have to start getting 256 gigabytes of RAM minimum, and then we'll be on to like, well, now 16 terabytes of RAM required because it just happens to run a universe simulator in the background most of the time. Whatever. Freaking sod off and stop. No, we're making money. You're stealing. I need money because you haven't done your job. I need more. Sorry, not money. I'm going to need massive amounts of memory because none of the programmers are coding. Well, the AI wrote me a program, which was a great start, but it didn't do any of the stuff that I actually wanted it to do, so I had to tag all that actual program on. And since I'd actually realized that I was like, well, it's like, why? I'm running a program that the AI wrote, which kind of looks nice, but then I had to write all the functionality myself, so it didn't really save me that much time. But I haven't got a component that I can reuse to do the core bit next time, because I'll just ask the AI to write that component for me. But I mean, to do some heavy tweaking. But if you then save that as a component, just drop it on next time. And like, you don't really need AI. You just need like a toolbox that you build up over time, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But I think that might be copyrighted or trademarked or just like heavily enforced that this guy's not working for us. Discredit him. Well, I better not even try then. Well, I mean, that was our church sermon this morning. Give up. Pass it on to Jesus. And I was like, well, it's an interesting perspective. Not what Jesus asked me to do though, so I find it somewhat distressing. You're preaching, don't try. Don't try and fix the world yourself. I mean, yeah, you'll probably get killed. Jesus did warn me that that's what I should do, and he'll forgive me if I don't. But I don't want to pre-forgive by not trying, actually. So I guess I'll just speak my mind, maybe get killed. Oh, I have missed something. Kind of did too much talking. Weak point to destroy turret, yes. Okay, end of tutorial. Okay, let me tab out and get my chat up, because I'm sorry if I've been ignoring you. I haven't been ignoring you, I've not got chat up. Oh, and as soon as I tabbed out, chat appeared. Interesting. But only one of them. Let me get my, Gotta get my stream chat up as well. From a vertical stream. Booley boop, pop out chat. And we'll drag that down to the other monitor. So I got my restream chat, which will be my Twitch and my standard YouTube and my vertical YouTube jet separate, and my OBS so I can see what's going on and which scene I have selected, and oh, Doom. Okay. Seems to be running okay. Let me see if I got like settings. What are my actual like video settings? I'm hoping, yes, 1920 by 1080. So yeah, we're only on 1080. Oh, we are triple buffering our VSync. Let me try turning that off. I might get tearing. If I get tearing, I'll turn it back on. Otherwise, I'd rather not. Present from compute. Would I like a present from compute? Present from compute on. I mean, if my compute is gonna, I mean, is my compute, I don't, that's very undescriptive, right? Recommended for best performance, present the final image from an asynchronous queue, disable if running into issues with external screen overlay software. Okay. I'll keep it then. Full screen mode, generally preferred, monitor 1. Hey, nice that you can like optionally put it somewhere else. Aspect ratio native, VSync off, HDR, not currently enabled in Windows because generally I've had extreme difficulty being able to configure an accurate color spectrum. I suppose I do now have both of my monitors. This one currently, I mean, I might not be keeping it. It's I'm using a 14-inch touchscreen or 14.6-inch portable monitor with touchscreen as my secondary monitor. It sits nicely under my main monitor. I do have a second monitor off to the side that I normally use, but currently this machine, I mean, that's only VGA, and this machine is saying no. The motherboard is like, nope, no, you can't have integrated graphics at the same time, which is another reason for testing actually being able to stream from it, because if it won't let me use the integrated graphics, then normally I put that as what I want to do the OBS processing. I want my integrated graphics available as an option. That is an entire second GPU, right? And it's an Intel one, and it's really good at encoding video. And I just want it to run my OBS video encoding. But you're like, even if I say to the BIOS, I have, maybe I'll give it a try. Sometimes it works the second time. I had a PC where there was no option to turn it on, and then like a week later it was just on. It was like, well, there's no BIOS setting that actually affects this, and it was like, no, it's not on. And then I checked the BIOS and tried all the different BIOS options, and it was like, nope, definitely not going to enable. And then like 3 days later, it was just like, hey, your GPU, your integrated graphics have appeared in Windows now. Well, that's lovely. Thank you. Much appreciated. Just like psychic BIOS update, was it? I don't know. Freaking how did that happen? But yeah, this computer, last thing I tried with it, I was like, okay, I booted up to BIOS, and I was like, well, let's set the primary graphics adapter, like auto was what I was hoping would do it. I'll set the primary graphics adapter to integrated, and still just like, that made no, nope. It's like, no, you've got a dedicated. Well, yeah, you've got auto, and you've got dedicated, and you've got integrated, and like, it wasn't my preference. I don't want the integrated graphics to be my primary graphics adapter. I just want it to be there. So if I have to set my integrated as my primary, then fair enough, I'll do it. So I did it, and it was like, nope, you don't have integrated graphics. It's like, well, I mean, I do. I can put this CPU into any other of the motherboards and I can use it, but like this motherboard is like, nah. But it's got 4 DIMMs, and it's got like USB 3 front panel, kind of, when I get an adapter, because it's a Lenovo board. It's got standard ATX 24 pin, which is nice, and it's got a built-in PCMCIA slot, mini PCIe slot, sorry, with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built onto it, which I mean I'm not using, but it's nice to have, and it doesn't impact my PCIe lanes, so I can still use my PCIe 3, which is on an LGA 1150 board, a nice feature, plus 4 DIMMs of DDR 1600. I mean, it's actually 1833 megahertz RAM, but I don't think the motherboard can actually support that. So it's only running at 1600, but it's, you know, HyperX Fury, 10 CL10, a CAS latency 10. Anyway. I guess I'll motion blur. Let me try motion blur off for a bit, and then I'll turn it on and see if I like it or not. What's this render mode? Gritty, cinematic, classic, black and white, VHS, retro console, retro handheld, dots. I mean, nah, we'll just go with off, right? Yeah, no ray tracing, that's not an option. Custom, we've got texture pool high. I mean, I'm only on 1080p, so even high might actually be like more than I'm actually getting use out of. I don't know. Doesn't tend to say texture pool, designed for this resolution, but you need a higher texture if you're going for a higher res. So if I was running in 4K, I'd want bigger textures. At 1080p, I probably don't need max texture things because it's not going to make a visible difference. Shadow quality ultra. I mean, I really don't care about shadows. I'd rather have more performance, so I'm just going to crank that down to high, even though everything seemed to be running fine. Reflections high, motion blur quality. I mean, that's kind of irrelevant now that I've turned motion blur off. Maybe directional occlusion, lights. So we're just on like full high, but we can go. Oops. Chromatic aberrate. So we can go up to ultra nightmare and ultra nightmare. So if everything runs like super smooth, then that's great. But potentially I could try doing a bit of more depth of field. And yeah, you're fine. Blah blah blah. Apply changes. Go back. Rezoom. Enter the portal. Teleporting. Teleportating. Telepotato. Do you have telekinetic powers? No, but I can telepotato. What? I can make a potato appear anywhere. What? Well, like, if I wanted to put one in your brain, then... No, don't do it! No, I'm just kidding. My stream is not looking happy. It's a bit slideshowy. So I kind of think maybe I'm going to have to run on the other computer, because it should be super smooth, but like I said, I can't get the integrated graphics on, and that's what should be doing the video processing for the streaming. And that's something that I really, 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 really don't want you to not give me as an option. I've got the hardware. You support using the hardware, but now you're like, well, you've got a dedicated graphics card. What would you want that for? Well, encoding everything else while I'm gaming on the main thing, yeah? Fucking obviously. So since my OBS is not even being responsive, I'm not going to try and stream this game because it's going to go badly and be poor quality. I'm going to turn streaming off. I'm going to have a quick go at trying again in the BIOS to see if I can get it to have integrated graphics on at the same time as the dedicated graphics, like I can have in any of the other 4 freaking 1150 motherboards that I've got in the house, or 5 if you include the broken Dell one. There's always a problem though, isn't there? If it wasn't for that, then this would be the best 1150 motherboard that I've had. My son's would be potentially, I think, would be better, but also has the same problem as this, where he can't have his integrated graphics at the same time. And like, for me, that's the difference. I can stream on one machine if I have integrated graphics enabled. But apparently I need an entire second computer if the motherboard has decided not to allow me to use the features that it should support and says it supports, but doesn't support simultaneously. It's like, yes, I support all of these things. And the instructions even say, in general, when I checked, it's like, enable it in the BIOS. And it's like, how? You haven't put that option in the BIOS. So, I don't know. Turn off, have a look-see, see if I can get my computer working as it should be. If not, set up the capture card shizzle and go with that. So I should be back.